Gotta go back to the city tomorrow. Figured I'd live stream. By the time he gets up, I'm probably gonna have to put the laptop back on the charger for a while. Let's see. Probably about 5. I'll see if he wants to get up. Well, it's definitely something he's going to need to mention to his when he gets a medical provider and his new psychologist about how much he's sleeping. I'd say it's definitely more, probably like the past 2 weeks. So, well, the exchange of that, which probably doesn't really have to stay that way, is he is way calmer. Yeah, he is way calmer, but he's tired a lot. So they said that that happens with brain injury. If you don't know anybody with traumatic brain injury or who's had brain surgery, so the literal brain gets tired and has to rest. So yeah, I would say after like this amount of time, in terms of like the Adderall, I'm sure it's just basically like a mental sort of addiction. Um, he doesn't in any way, shape, or form talking about he wants to ever take Adderall again. No, he never talks about it. So hopefully that's considered some sort of horrifying, probably much of his life, from what I can gather, between that and then what they call meth, which is the same drug. So they put children on it, and then when they grow up, they're quote unquote meth heads. Yep. So it's like a extremely disgusting quote unquote medication. It's not a medication, it's an insidious drug that melts brain matter. There's even a doctor on YouTube now talking about it, and people probably were like, "What the hell are you on? You don't know what you're talking about." God had me look it up, so I know. Right, your brain runs on electric impulses, and it increases that to such a degree that it actually cooks the brain. Your brain isn't supposed to function like that. It's a tissue, so it literally cooks your brain and causes brain damage. So I think they got confused or something because they thought I was talking about that. Like he was hit in the head with the hammer and had brain surgery. Like the left side of his brain was damaged. Yeah, just, anyways. So he obviously has to have doctor's appointments in order to get his Social Security. So again, I understand it because, in a sense, they thought the first set of people, the ones who said something about the campground, they're not the ones responsible for him missing his appointments. Okay, those are the people at Spalding, whoever it was that set up the PT1 for an address he hasn't been at in years. Right, he's clearly at a campground. That's what you were told 14 times. Is that the address of a campground? No. So you knew he would miss the appointments. He's supposed to have a liver scan because his liver enzymes went way up when he was in the hospital, and the doctor wasn't sure why. And yeah, I know. He is on a tremendous amount of medication. He was a drunk for a long time, and then he got that C, C diff thing from all the antibiotics and stuff. So yeah, I would imagine your liver would revolt. So, anyways, he's supposed to have a liver scan that he missed, and he's supposed to see the neurologist again. So clearly, both of those things are important. So when we go back to the city, we're going to have to contact Mass General. He put in his, I got to find it on my phone, he put it in his a portal that I'm allowed to have access to his portal. I'm allowed to have access to his medical records through Mass General, which is different than Manit. That was never set up at Manit. Okay, so hopefully I can make appointments. Okay, he just doesn't want to do it. He's not against the appointments being made. He just doesn't want to do it. Right. The only one I insisted he call back is his psychologist. So the other people, I don't mind making the appointments. And then he'll be set up every week for the psychologist. So I shouldn't have to, you know, twist an arm again after this. I explained to Social Security, right, because of the history and his history of drug and alcohol use, and clearly it's complete, like, sort of like a neglect. He doesn't even have, like, a therapist. There isn't even a therapist that can submit anything to them. Yeah, just that was like what a year battle with me. And at the first year I knew him, I really didn't get involved in that. That was like a year battle. So, um, right then, hopefully he won't have this happen at Mass General. But yeah, just everybody doesn't want to take Mass Health now. It's all part of the treason. Okay. And crimes against humanity. It's health insurance, like, right. It was one thing when people ran around going, well, you didn't care when we didn't have health insurance. It's health insurance now the providers refuse to take. So I know there was some issue with that because briefly I had that sunshine stuff in Florida and you couldn't find a dentist, right, to do your appointment. So I am somewhat familiar with that. You can get them for your children, but not yourself as an adult. Yeah. I know all about that stuff. I knew people that were on Mass Health for a long, long time, and they said stuff about people not being able to get cleanings and stuff. Like, I'm not in a fucking lesson for the 57th time. Anyways, I've gone through him losing his job and then not having any health insurance at all. I had to pay out of pocket to go to the dentist. Yeah, what's that other thing they used to do that starts with the C or something? Did that for a while. Yeah, I'm familiar with all that stuff. I mean, you just go, you're not teaching me a lesson, you're psychopathically deranged. All the firstborn sons, your immune system, your first offenders. Anyways, all that's been going on since 2011 is God having a talk with you folks that you won't have. And you keep interpreting it into a world system, even when that's criminal and demented and doesn't make any sense. You keep doing it. What else are you supposed to do? Well, you were told what to do. You're supposed to do regular United States of America where you take mass health, and you were told universal health care. That's what you do. You give out housing in the regular way. You're not even giving people numbers anymore. Just, right, you just go, you say you're affordable housing, you tell a couple they have an apartment, you give them an apartment, they pay 30% of their income. That's what a person would have to do. Yes, that's what a person would have to do after doing that to us. You would have to eat the cost of it, and you hope and pray that we both got Social Security and at least our income went up, or we would decide after a year to leave your apartment. But you're a corporation, like you don't even care because no one cares and you know it. To take a hit like that, that everybody that knows what Penrose is now knows that you did that to people. Back in the day, people cared, right? You'd go, well, we did actually make a mistake and we thought that they had a voucher. Right. So the fact that you do absolutely like nothing, you don't even comment about it. I think everyone knows you did it purposely. So your whole corporation is pretty much evil. So I guess rent from these people at your own risk. You can only be warned so many times. When people are sadistically insane, they're gonna do stuff to you in your apartment. Guaranteed, they're gonna do stuff to you in your apartment. So yeah, that's just not someone you want to rent from, even with the voucher. Like I said, these people have vouchers. They need to go somewhere else because that's scary. So, um, I think I'll do some more of that oatmeal. I mean, yeah, he liked it too. I think he was sort of like surprised he liked it. He goes, "Oh, that's not bad." So all the marshmallows and chocolate are gone. If we wanted to do, I actually have a whole jar of fluff I haven't even opened. Yeah. But I mean, I kind of prefer not to open it if I got to carry it around. I can't leave it in my storage. I don't typically eat that stuff unless I'm camping. Yeah, but I guess I have no choice but to eat it now. So that's gone. He doesn't like fluff. But if you mixed it with the oatmeal, just like I did with the marshmallows, it'd be the same thing. It's basically sugar. So I was gonna do like oatmeals and raisins, and I really didn't want to put sugar in it. So, and then there's plenty of ramen noodles. He only had one package, I think, so that means there's like four of them left. That's more than enough food for two people for a night. We really don't eat that, and I think there's about four slices of cheese. I was debating if I was gonna like melt cheese on oatmeal and see how disgusting that might be. I know I'm running out of choices now because I'm only here for one more meal. Ramen noodles are light, so they're easy to carry around. I don't know about carrying around an open package of oatmeal. Yeah, so raisins are pretty light. I eat raisins all the time, so it depends. If I don't end up using the raisins, I'll probably eat them later as a snack before I go to bed. So the zipper on our tent broke. I guess he got it zipped this time, so I don't. Yeah, I guess we're taking it with us. At first, it was like, oh, I guess we're throwing our tent away. We got 6 weeks of use out of it, so I don't know if that's the bad thing about those tents because I've been raving about how good they are because they're completely waterproof. And then I saw, I think it's actually on sale at Walmart for $38. We paid 50 for ours. There's different sizes. I'm pretty sure that's the 4 man. It's pretty big in there for two people. And then obviously we're not getting rid of our blue tent, supply tent. So if we ever had to get rid of that, I don't know. I'd probably just get another one just like it, or get another one of these blue ones. But it's really not big enough for him because he's taller than me. Yeah, two. We slept in that thing. We camped in that. I think was it 1 week or 2 weeks? We just had that. At first, we slept in it even though the pole was broken. And then what happened is I decided to book another week at Harold Parker. This was like the last time we camped before he was attacked. And then we walked to Walmart and bought the tent. I set it up. We only ended up using it one night because I got the email from the shelter that I got a bed, and then we got in a big fight. So I canceled it and we left the next day. So we got one night and then 6 weeks out of it. The blue tent we've had, uh, we camped at Harold Parker before that, and that's when it like downpoured for 2 days straight and no water got in there. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure like that zipper. That's what I said. I go, and it's the supply tent. You know how many times I've been in and out of that tent? A gazillion times, and the zip is fine. Yeah. And some people would probably go, so it's probably like a $30 tent. Some people would go $30. Yeah, that's going to be a piece of crap. I don't know if it even is a brand. Manit was giving them out. I got that was a donation that my therapist called Manit and got for me. It's hard to get stuff from Manit if you're not one of their patients. Yeah. So if they ever come up again, I would definitely want another one because, like I said, the pole's broken. So sometimes a little bit of water will get in there. But so yeah, as is, we're taking both of the tents. At first, we thought we were gonna have to throw one away, which would have been depressing. But you just go, God just every step of the way, God keeps indicating that, and because of the insanity, like I told you, all of a sudden now at Harold Parker, even people are booking just weekends. There's no way that's homeless people, right? You just go, that's, they can only, why would they pick a weekend, is what I'm telling you. If they went, we can only afford one night or two nights, why would they pick a weekend? It's clearly not homeless people. Yeah, that's clearly not homeless people. But what you do is you cause homeless people not to have a place to live at least till the season's done, right? Because every time you have to change a campsite, as you know, it's $5 on Reserve America. Every time, even when you explain to them what's going on, they charge you that. So you go, all right, you people are going to do what you're going to do. And the reason why God is allowing certain things is for a reason. Like, we've got to go back to the city. We've got to get his Social Security thing straightened away and his medical appointments. Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with this housing awaiting us, no. I think what's awaiting us is surviving basically till the warming center opens on December 1st. And then hopefully it will be just the same group of people that was there last year. If it was the same group of people that was there last year, then we get in every night, but we have to show up there 2.5 hours before we can get in the cold and just stand there in the cold. So I know the Cambridge police had spoken to us about trying to set up a number system so we don't have to do that. Okay. So, right. In all fairness, I'm sure the cops saw it was the same people every night. Right. So, I know, man. I think tonight, since obviously when the sun goes down, I'll take down my rope. Not really like it. I obviously have plenty of time to leave here tomorrow. We don't really have a set time. It's not like the other times where we had to get to a campground and set up before nightfall or something like that. So it's a little bit different. But I would think we would probably try to leave here at least by 10. Like maybe have the lift pick us up at 10 or 10:30. That's what I would think. He doesn't really get up that early, and I don't really want to stress myself out, even though I usually get up early anyway. I would say it takes me all of about maybe 30 minutes, if that, to pack up. And then we have to walk like a mile and a half to the front and then order a lift. We're going to actually, we have to walk more than that because I don't think the lift is going to pick us up at the office. Yeah, we'll have to walk all the way up to the sign because every time we order a lift back here, we have to go, can you just drive down there? That's the only address that we have found. That's the address. Like, it's not the sign. Yeah, it's actually not the sign. It's probably the camp office. No, they all do it. Yep, they all do it. Because sometimes they don't know. They're going by a GPS, but they don't know it at Wampatuck. One woman thought it was like the visitor center. That's a pretty long walk with all your gear or a bunch of groceries, but we never took a lift from a grocery store from there. But we're like, no, this is the visitor center. It's like that way. It's probably like another 2 miles or a mile and a half. She didn't say anything either. So it seems like most of that stuff is dry. I'm not sure about the washcloth. I don't know if something is actually going to dry overnight. I might not be able to take that down tonight. Yeah, if I have time in the morning, it's pointless by some chance that the washcloth actually dries completely out. So I had good luck today with kindling. That's sort of like God's way of doing it because the chipmunks were all up in there, and everywhere they up and went, I went up there. And lo and behold, there was stuff up there. Yeah, like sometimes you just don't see something until God points it out to you and shows it to you. Just all goes the way He wants it to go with the burst cooking and all of that. It was probably to address something about the pit, the fire pits or something. So anyway, I tried to fill out the Social Security stuff to the best of my honest knowledge. None of it is sort of fabricated. If anything, I'm not. I'm actually being not sort of is whatever. uh, Me personally, I honestly don't really quite. I don't know if I'm believing that he just is like depressed. Like, um, yeah, I'm not sure I'm believing that about like gathering wood and this and that and do like I don't think he, and this is why I say that he, one thing I've noticed about him that's different than before we got married, um he may have actually had some kind of a brain event after he left my sister's place in Foxborough. When he took off that time, something may have happened during that time. And then I think it was during November when he was beaten up repeatedly and he had a concussion and a fractured nose. Okay. Yeah, because he never, ever, ever used to have problems rolling cigarettes, and it happens frequently now. Yeah, it's like, I think it's probably more than depression. I mentioned this before when I used to observe people that seemed like they might have brain illness. They seem like they're depressed at first because it's just sort of like an affect, like a level. Yeah. So I think there could be something like that going on. He himself may have noticed that like the last couple of times he drank that he's not really even having pretend fun anymore when he drinks. Yeah. So I would say that that's probably true. Well, I'm pretty sure when he left my sisters, he at least did like a shit ton of Adderall at once, and I remember he was like berserk in the text messages and stuff. So it's, yeah, I think you can have like a stroke like that and not be aware of it because you're intoxicated and you're drunk, and everybody around you just thinks you're intoxicated and drunk and stuff. Yeah, and when you don't have like a lot of baseline from a therapist or something, and then you have something like that happen, and you're not having any aftercare after this concussion and stuff, and getting beaten like that. Um, but I don't, I don't view it as he's not bored in the city because we went over that and I discussed it with him. Yeah, I think he's more anxious in the city because we're street homeless. Yeah, like to some degree, when he was in the shelter and he was really kind of like down, but he was also like mean. Did I not put another trash bag out? I did put another trash bag out. He's not really being snippy and mean. Okay, he was a little bit like kind of like that at the beginning of the camping trip. There was like one or two times. He's not acting like that now. Um, but he does seem like wicked depressed like that. And I think that he kept saying it was because he had to sit up all night in a chair. So that's probably how he is typically because he's not as stressed out when he's camping and he wasn't as stressed out in the shelter, even though he wasn't being given a bed. But when he's outside, yeah, like I don't think he's less bored. I think he's more panicked and anxious. So And then the other thing that's new too is not allowing him to sleep in the stairwell because he had done that for years. So I think that really freaked him out too. That them doing that to us. So, anyways, sometimes, yeah. I mean, I honestly, I think most of these beings are so brain sick that they just go on impulse, and there isn't really a lot of like typical psychopathic stuff going on, which a psychopath may not even be aware of, like because God explains it to me, so they may not even be aware of their inner motivations and workings. Like, um, they know they're completely fucked up, as you call it. So that's why they would enjoy giving people PTSD and as you're calling trauma and stuff. That's why, because they envy people that are psychologically normal. And then they sort of do that pretend primate thing where they romp around like they're with it, or they're smarter than you. They know all these terms. They're psychologists, and they're calm, cool, and collected when you just saw them be Sybil's mother and shit. There's no way they're like that. They're just a complete like powder keg every second of the day. Yeah, it's probably part of a trance that God Almighty puts them in because they're, scary and dangerous. Yeah, I can see a wrapper on the ground. That's what made me go, oh, well, I didn't put another trash bag out. I'm sure we'll have some trash tomorrow morning. So, one thing I kind of would like to take with me, but I'm not going to, is this huge air mattress, which I never even tested to see if it's broken or not because it's too heavy. So far, except for Pearl Hill and Wampatuck, um, this time, no, I don't think I did it the other time too. I've always found an air mattress in the trash. Always, always on the top. Yeah, there's never any like garbage or anything like on it that's gross. Every time. Because there's so many people that use those when they're camping and they break. It depends. You can cover up your wood with it so your wood stays dry when it rains. That's what I did this time. You can put it under your tent so you have something between the ground and you. Or you can cut it and put it over your tent if your tent isn't waterproof or you have like little leaks or something. You could probably even use that, depending on where you were, to load up with kindling and then just drag it back to your campsite. Right, you could cover up your fire pit with it as long as there's no fire in it if it was going to rain so the pit didn't get soaked. There's a lot of things you can do with that. So at some point, it was easier dragging it down here. I'll probably ask him to help me carry it up to the trash. Um, I don't know, something like that I might leave in between the dumpsters in case somebody else wants it. Like I said, some people are sort of like crafty like that and they go, oh, I can use this to cover up my wood when it rains. And then you don't have to put it inside your tent. Let's see, what time is it? 5. I do. I hate to wake him up, but sometimes he gets angry, so I have to at least ask him. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock. Do you want to keep sleeping, or you want me to come back at 5:30?
Where are you going?
Huh?
Where are you going?
Nowhere. I meant like back to the tent.
Yeah.
You want me to ask you at 5:30? Okay, babe. yeah, that's all I gotta do because it's actually not shady enough for this. I gotta bring his chair back over.
One of them pulled out what appeared to be a
I guess I should probably plug this back in while he's still taking another 30 minutes. I'll talk for a couple more minutes and then I gotta shut up the live stream, charge the laptop again. So I'm forever grateful to the Cambridge Library for not killing the hotspot since it was due back yesterday. Right, I did send them a note, so hopefully they got it. I'm not sure, like, whoever reserved it, just know this. The reason they wouldn't let me renew it is because I renewed it too many times. Right, so I could have just kept renewing it. Yeah, so they said I renewed it too many times, so yeah. If that helps you at all. Right, like I could have just kept renewing it. So that must be what they do because people were probably doing that. Right. I do have a Chromebook. It doesn't have internet because it's supposed to have a portable hotspot that was shut off. So I think I emailed them, and I'm not sure if that email takes replies. The one that's asking you to do the survey. Okay. They haven't said anything, so maybe it was just a year program with the hotspot. I'm pretty sure it's in my storage. I'll try it again to see if it works when I get back, but I'm not feeling too good about it. But yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot to ask my therapist. I talked to her today. It's going to be 3 weeks till I talk to her again. I guess I can email her. Yeah. I have her email address. So I'll email her and ask her if there's any way I can get a hotspot because I had one and it was shut off before we went camping. Because I definitely need that for my Social Security hearing. Like, there is a public library, but clearly that's not private, and they ask you that. So we just say yes, and then we write it's a public library. I mean, that we can get internet access. It's not private, but I mean, we have to have our hearing, right? He has to have his first like telehealth thing, and I have to have my hearing. So it's just something that's got to be tolerated. My entire personal business. When I did mine with the doctor, I was at my sister's, so that I think is better because that was private. And then I still got denied. Sometimes after these interviews with these doctors, you go, I cannot believe that these people denied me. I have no idea if it's the doctor denying you, but you just go, whoa, both of them. I saw a psychologist in her office in like 2000 and what, 16. Okay, see, right, and then this one was last year on a telehealth, and you just go, whoa, are you telling Social Security not to give me Social Security? Whoa. First of all, you're both females. That's why. Jesus Christ. You can't recognize like severe abuse and PTSD? What the fuck? I'm like literally crying and shit to these people, and then they deny me fucking Social Security. You just go, whoa. Anyways, I hate to say that because I really don't want to believe it's true. I really don't. But you go, that's the nature of females at work, especially if they have children. Like, it's just, they're never going to go, they always have to think something lesser of me because why did they keep working when they had children? Like there's always an excuse for what happened to me because they don't believe in homemakers. They just don't believe in it. Clearly, because they work. I hate to even fathom that that's true because I never believed that before in my life. I had no idea how bad and fucked up people were until all this shit started happening to me. Nope. Never in a day would I believe how bad people are. And I should say it started before that. It started when I went back to school and started doing an externship in the dental office. That's when I started realizing it. I knew some of the females that Al worked with were yahoos, but I just figured it was the nature of the Golf Channel. It was a bunch of misogynist dudes hiring all these like whore like chicks to work for them. Right. So you get a little bit of it from that parenting magazine where you realize that these people are deranged and what to expect when you're expecting and stuff. Probably. And then you have like the super rich, right? The actual wealthy people that just go and roll their eyes. Anyways, that's the ideal life, right? That's the ideal life. You can work later on. Your children are only children for 18 years. Okay, so you can either delay having children to work or you can work after they're all of age. Right, that's the ideal life where the woman doesn't have to work and she can just focus on being a mother and then she can do volunteer things and she can learn to play piano and stuff. That's the ideal life. First of all, especially as a psychologist, you can work right from your home. So I don't know why you would hate homemakers at that point, but or alimony. They get in this weird thing where it's not fair to a dude that the woman doesn't work. You go, it's not fair to the dude. It's not fair to the dude to be a man and what do they call it? Provide for his family. That's not fair to the dude. Whoa. Who cares what's fair to the children, right? Who cares what's fair to the children and what's fair to you as a woman that you're expected to do all this crap and fail at everything, just like Jackie O told you. You could have 14 degrees and be a homemaker, right? We're talking about work and hours and stuff spent away from your children and the attitude towards females that don't generate an income. You would think so, like some of the treatment of me, but you have to remember there's all these different fractions of people. So you would think I was some sort of just like brazen like whore, as like a stripper and stuff, and like I just like married dudes like Johnny Carson's wives and collected alimony and stuff. Like it's so bizarre. It's like just a hatred for just a regular Mary Poppins mom. I'm sure every homemaker, like, it's like Betty Broderick too. You just go, clearly you struggle with stuff, and the guy's doing this and that, and you forego your career, and then when he begins to make money, then you benefit from it. Not this dude had anything when I met him. He didn't even have a car. Right, psychologists make the big bucks. That's what the social worker said at Spalding. 3 semesters from the big bucks. Never mind being a nurse practitioner and writing prescriptions and all that. I would have been making more money than he does. Probably eventually I would have got a degree in psychology too. So what do those people make? The big bucks. Right. So anyways, I know I just said that. I gotta finish talking and then plug the thing in. I feel a little bit better. I think it's worse the days leading up to it. Yeah, and then you just pretty much go in like labor mode because, right, every now like basically the last 2 days was figuring out the rest of the food and having meals and having enough drink packets and enough kindling and stuff, and then tomorrow morning I'll just wake up in full like got to get stuff together mode. It doesn't give like much more time to worry about it. It sucks because I could tell I was getting anxious like this at Wampatuck, and that was just because we had to move to another campsite. I don't think we were like this at Pearl Hill at all. We were sort of like, um, that wasn't really the greatest camp ground either, but it was better than here in retrospect, aside from the bugs. There's literally like no mosquitoes here. And plus, we've had a couple of nights now where it's gotten cold, so these mosquitoes can't survive in that. But now this is the end of it, so of course there was more anxiety and stuff leading up to it. So now it's probably just sun starting to go down. Like I said, 5 o'clock. It's going to be dark in 2 hours, and then we'll be going to bed. Another day. So well, first thing we're doing is getting up and having coffee, and then I guess I should probably like brush my teeth and stuff before I pack. But I think I usually stop packing, and then once everything's packed up, then we'll just walk up to the front, like I said, order the lift, wait for the lift, go to the train, wait for the train. I already have the tickets purchased. I bought round trip tickets this time. Take the commuter rail back to South Station, get on the red line, stop in Quincy Center, drop off the stuff at the Social Security office because um, we don't have to purchase anything. We have enough of all the products. We have plenty of tobacco tubes and CBD. Like he didn't even go through his CBD, smoking less and less of that stuff too. I've noticed, which is the opposite of marijuana. He smokes more and more and more of it. Um, so yeah, probably because it's not the same type of high. It doesn't have THC in it, so maybe it actually doesn't have THC in it. Okay, so that's good. Um, Once you're intoxicated, some people just keep going. That's how he is with marijuana, and he was probably like that with the Adderall, and he's definitely like that with booze. Okay, so someone was explaining to me too, it's a waste of money because you can only get so high from marijuana, right? It's just, I think he realizes now, even without the brain injury, you really can't smoke regular pot either. So, anyways, go to the storage, and then we have to get back to the library to return the thing. The library, thankfully, is open till 9 because it's a Thursday. So, and then it's just our regular looking for some place to sleep, toilets, and then we're supposed to go to my sister's on Friday. So we have to go back to we'll have to drop off whatever we slept with tomorrow night, drop it off at the storage, and then go to South Station and get on the commuter rail to go out to where she is and pick up the at least a laptop. I don't know if he's going to want to carry a laptop around, but we're basically just taking it to our storage. So um, hopefully she's going to offer to pick us up there or at least drop us off because it's like a mile and a half from where she lives. Yeah. So obviously that depends on how much we're taking with us since we have to carry it. Um, and then that's at some point in time we have to go to the bank. That doesn't really take long. There's actually one right where by where she lives too. So even if we like did it there, but I kind of would like to do it tomorrow because once I deposit my money into the bank account, my trip is paid off. So then that's about it until the 10th. That's all that's going on with us till the 10th because that's when his appointment is. Yeah, I mean, since we're going to be sitting at a library all day, yeah, making his other appointments. So hopefully that won't take more than a day. We're going to miss Friday Cafe, unfortunately, because we're going to my sister's. So there's like nothing really on the weekends. They have the thing at Porter on Sunday mornings, which, yeah, I mean, I guess because it's something to do. Um, it's just we have to go to our storage before we do anything because we don't carry all our sleeping material around with us, and now it's getting colder. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess if I feel like carrying that blue IKEA bag around just to go there, and then I don't think there's anything on Monday either, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays is map. Friday is Friday Cafe, and Wednesday morning is usually when we go to get clothes in Quincy at the church. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then the rest of the days. Why does it seem like something's going on Saturday that I'm forgetting about? What goes on Saturday? I don't think anything goes on Saturday, but for some reason I'm going. Maybe is that when they do that Korean church? I've never gone there. Yeah, I've never gone there. All right, I'm gonna plug this thing in. So I gotta shut this off.